I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP, or any of their athletes.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back here to the National Racing Network and race number 2 of the TNT Rock Block. This time it will be the TNT Bolt Series coming to you from Richmond Raceway. My name is Chris Graham. It is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here. Looking forward to another really good race here for the Bolt Series. As we mentioned, talking to Wes Shire at the end of the Free V Series race where he has already clinched a championship. The news looking pretty good for him here in this one as well. For the Bolt Series, Matt Houston from Raceverse picking up the win 1 week ago here in this series by 1.4 seconds over Wes Shire. Christian Jasper coming home in the third podium position at the Sonoma Raceway. That race was pretty darn good. A lot of fun to watch that one. The points championship, well, wrong ones. Got to show you the right graphics here. Now we'll get you a look at the point standings after 10 rounds. This race is significantly tighter. 231 points for Wes Shire. He picked up the points lead over J.W. Miller sitting at 227. Back to Simon third, 181 points. So it is going to be a two-car duel to the finish here in the TNT Bolt Series. Bill Walker, Stephen Thompson round out the top 5. Thompson going to have Mike McCullen pretty much breathing down his neck. And James Curtis going to be there as well. All three of those drivers do have a possibility of catching Bill Walker for the 4th position in points. Taking a look at timing and scoring as we are down to the final 2 minutes or so. Chris Kresge is your current practice leader with a best lap time of 20.551 seconds. Cullen Johnston and Simon Fell complete the top 3. Now that we have the graphics back, let's tell you a little bit about the weather conditions for tonight's race presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Okay, well, I guess that part of the graphics isn't going to work, but 83-degree ambient temperature under partly cloudy skies. Wind's going to be out of the southwest at about 10 miles an hour. Track temperature only 84 degrees, not much above ambient, so should make for a pretty good race here this evening. There's your weather graphics, by the way. All right. This one turning into an absolute mess as the 98 of Nagisa Yashikawa slides into your living room. So there you see it, down to the final 60 seconds in practice. 12 cars making up the field here this evening. We'll show you the intervals from front to back. Very, very tight field in this one. Take a look at the total all the way back to 10th place. James Watson is only about a half second. And it will definitely be interesting to see how the strategy games may develop with the possibility of having caution flags in this one. pick up the 777 of Chris Kresge. Oh my goodness, that was the old BAR split livery race car. Good Lord. What a mess that paint job was. Fantastic call to run that one, though, by Chris Kresge. Cullen Johnston in the number 84. John Deere on the side of that machine. Just ahead of him is your points leader, Wes Shire. Wes talking throughout practice and even the lead up to the race that he is not real confident in the amount of speed that he has in that number 16 machine. And in the battle for the championship, J.W. Miller finishing just behind Wes Shire here in practice. Get you a look at Chris Kresge as he heads out onto the racetrack. Well, he's going to reset. So we'll pick up Wes Shire, your points leader, as he makes his way out onto this 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. We'll say a distant cousin to the 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway. Wes Shire must have not liked the setup on that car. He heads back to the pit area, and we will follow along with Chris Kresge. Kresge comes around to complete his qualifying run. 20.670 seconds, going to be the quick lap time for Chris Kresge. We'll show you the best lap times up here on the screen. New quick time, top of the board, J.W. Miller completing his run at 20.597 seconds. Team Watson Racing colors on the side of that machine. Here is Wes Shire coming around to complete lap number 1. Going personal best. New quick time, top of the board. 20.637 seconds. But it's going to be second quick. Here, J.W. Miller still holding on to that time at the top of the board. Simon Fell working on his second lap. Simon comes in at a 20.787 second lap. And that will do it for qualifying. All 12 cars have taken time. The battle for the championship will be the battle to turn number 1. J.W. Miller will lead Wes Shire to the green flag here this evening. Let's bring in our co-host here for the evening, Mr. James Watson. And I tell you what here, bud, I didn't quite forget about you. I just didn't see you move, so I brought you back up. What are you thinking here tonight? Currently 9th quick in qualifying. This one could be interesting there for you, bud.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a consistency race. Richmond is such a tricky place to run. I feel like if I don't spin and I don't die, I might be able to get a decent finish out of it, and a commanding decent finish, not just putting around 4 seconds off the pace and finishing fifth because all the faster people died.
This race has the potential to maybe see pit stops come into the equation here if we get a late caution flag in this one. Is that something that you've thought about strategy-wise, or is it more of you just got to see how the race plays out?
Yeah, when it comes to races like this, I really don't think too far ahead of strategy. I just kind of wait, see what happens, and then figure out what I'm going to do from what I've seen and what's still yet to come.
Definitely have an interesting championship battle on our hands here. J.W. Miller, West Shire, swapping that spot after last week's race. Now they're going to lead the field into turn number one. Knowing that there's a tight battle on the line, does it change how you drive around either of those two?
I mean, I'm probably not going to be that close to them, so it's kind of irrelevant personally, but for others that are closer, like Chris Kresge and Cullen Johnson, especially guys that haven't made many starts in the series, I feel like they will kind of keep that in the back of their mind. They won't do anything too crazy, but they're not going to roll over and let them pull away, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one to watch because nobody wants to be the guy that screws up the championship fight. But at the same time, you're still out here to race and have fun running at the front.
Yes, sir.
And not like we've got millions of dollars on the line for this thing either.
Nope, I think we just have, what, $25 for the chance, I think?
Yeah, about that, I think. Not big numbers though. We should do that. Let us know in the comments, what is the big money race that we should run? We did have a decent payout structure for the little 500 back in May last year for the sprint cars. We'll bounce these ideas off of James as he's trying to survive a 95 lap feature here at Richmond.
I can say, as someone who's around a lot of big money races, big money short track races in the iRacing world, don't pick the super late model. I've been involved with several big money super late model races, and let me tell you, every single one I've been in and witnessed has been an absolute chaos of epic proportions. Unless you like races, 300 lap races that have 110 caution laps, then that's the event for you.
Yeah, that was I think we should do something more along the lines of that little 500 show. That race was a blast. I can't believe we talked for 500 laps around Southern National.
I can't believe I survived for 500 laps around Southern National.
Yeah, the little murder machines were fun. And actually, we can make that announcement tonight. It looks like the TNT series will be taking 2022 Season 1 off. What that means is it opens up the time slot, and we'll be back with top split sprint car coverage. And I am thinking the exact same question here, Chad. He wants to know, can we advance? Yeah, I would think so, but apparently not. Possibly wanting to save that time in case anybody joins into the session here on the late side, but we're getting down to the point of no return because there's only about 5 seconds left to try to get the lap turned. And that is it. I say, and that is it. Qualifying is over. Take a look here, and yeah, it is going to be West Shire leading the field to green here this evening by 0.02 of a second over J.W. Miller. Chris Kresge and Cullen Johnston on row number 2. Matt Houston and Bill Walker will occupy the third row here this evening. Simon Fell, James Watson on row number 4. Row 5 will have Nagisa Yoshikawa and Chad Irvine. Peter Donchak, Rick Cleary on row 6. And that will be the 12 cars making up tonight's starting grid. Everybody is out on the racetrack, and we are going to get ready to go here. You'll see the iRacing safety car pull away, the Ford Mustang safety car, followed by tonight's USF 2000 field. And this one, this one's going to be a fun one, that's for sure. And again, 95 laps, the scheduled distance. Down to just 2 races remaining in the TNT Bolt Series for 2021 Season 4. Westshire has already locked up one championship in the Free V Series. He wants a piece of another one here in the Bolt. But in order to do it, he is going to have to get through 95 laps at Richmond Raceway. Safety car is in off of turn number 4. Green flag will go in the air, and as always, race fans, start of this one's going to be all yours. One car up into the outside wall. That may have been Rick Cleary. We'll put lap number 1 in the books, and it will go to Westshire. Chad Irvine making his way down the pit road. We'll see what the damage is there. Rick Cleary now having to take the toe in. Shire up on the outside off of turn number 4. That opens the door for J.W. Miller. Chris Kresge following down to the inside.
Little bit of wall contact for Bill Walker.
Man, race leaders are tight. Here's Kresge down to the inside of Shire.
Whoa.
Oh, and he almost makes contact. Kresge goes around in front of the field. Caution flag is out.
Woo!
Oh, my goodness. Well, if you're going to almost wad him up, that's the way to do it.
But clincher.
Here's the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay. Kresge down to the inside. He almost got J.W. Miller. Everybody else comes around. Oh, man, what a piece of driving there by, I believe that was James Watson. He was about in your living room. One car did make some contact with the outside wall. I believe that was Peter Donchak trying to avoid the spun car of Chris Kresge.
Oh, that. Oh, I. Help.
Pucker Factor Zulu over there, huh, Mr. Watson?
Oh, yeah, and with this thing, the off-throttle oversteer, the way it works with the open diff, you can't get off the throttle and try to take any sort of evasive maneuver. So I just kept about like half throttle, slammed on the brakes, prayed and thank you God I lived to fight another day.
So you're saying it's full ARCA brakes in these cars?
Essentially, it's educated ARCA brakes.
There's
Truck
no
brakes,
such
if you
thing.
will. Xfinity brakes, if you will.
Yes. Now, here's an interesting thing. At the moment of caution, J.W. Miller was ahead of West Shire. So that's going to give J.W. Miller the starting point up front for this restart. Single file restarts in the Bolt Series. At least I think it should be single file restarts. That's really a huge advantage at this place to not have to worry about that car alongside you.
Nope, it's going to be interesting to see if Wes has anything for him at this point. Obviously, stupid early in this race.
Yes, very early in the race here, but the question becomes, and James, not going to ask you to spill any beans here because you are very good with strategy, but is the fuel number going to be good here?
I don't know. I think so. It's been a really, really long time since I've only done like one oval race in this car in the last, I don't know, year. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I think we're good. Initial returns on what I'm seeing with the fuel is good. So I think it's if you want tires.
I say that's going to be the big question late in this race is, does anybody elect to take tires? It's going to be fun to follow that storyline as it develops here. Going to go at least one more lap behind the iRacing safety car since we do have the lap down cars of Chad Irvine and Rick Cleary. It does make it a full caution. So you have the lap to get packed up, the time to get packed up behind the safety car. Then pit road opens for lead lap cars, followed by lap down cars. Then you'll get the 1 to go signal, kind of at the earliest. So 4 to 5 lap cautions in these cars, and that really does change your fuel calculations in a big way. Even one caution, if you were close on fuel, probably going to get you to the end.
Yep. Yeah, this car doesn't quite guzzle fuel like its slightly older brother. So I think we should be pretty good to go here. And we also don't have a half a fuel tank like we do in the Chalk Series.
That's true. This is a pretty much full fuel load in these cars. And check in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Give it a share if you're enjoying the racing. Green flag back in the air. We are underway once again, and it was a great start for J.W. Miller. Let's see here. Chad Irvine says we can interview him. So let's bring him into the broadcast booth here as we get back underway. Chad, what happened back there?
Yes, somebody up in front of me on the initial start of the race clipped the apron. I panicked and then tried to avoid getting run over from behind as well at the same time and put myself in the wall. My right front was sheared off, and we're gonna see after we take all these repairs how we can fare back out there.
I say probably, what, 8 minutes or so of required repairs before you get back out there? Oh, no, you're just coming back out now.
Yeah, putting tires back on takes about 4 laps, or 4 minutes, so we'll see how it goes, but let me let the whole field go by first so I don't ruin anybody else's race.
I say, very nice of you to take care of that one for us here, Chad. Thank you very much. We'll drop you back into the room now. And following along, James Watson had a nice little battle going there. Able to clear Nagisa Ashikawa. Field single file at the front of the field. J.W. Miller, West Shire, Cullen Johnson, Matt Houston, Bill Walker, the top 5. They will be closely followed by Simon Fell, who's at the tail end of that group in the 6th position. James Watson holding on to 7th right now. Looks like Chad Irvine had to take the toe back in, so obviously the repairs were not very good there for Mr. Irvine.
It's a real shame for Chad. Always nice having him back here in TNT. Woo! Big wiggle by Bill. Oh my.
Oh, man, West Shire right up on the rear wing of J.W. Miller on corner entry. In fact, had to back out of it just a little bit. Great run down the back straightaway. Again, Miller going to cover off the inside lane, but Shire able to hold things just a little bit tighter down to the inside. Chad checking into the comments saying, right front damage can't be repaired. My race is done. Tough break for Chad. He will finish in the 12th position here tonight. Everybody else back on the racetrack, Peter Donchak, Rick Cleary, both running already 11 laps down. 2-year race leaders there in the 10th and 11th positions. Top 5 have separated themselves out from James Watson, Nagisa Ashikawa, Bill Walker, and Chris Kresge. Field working, lap number 19 now. This race will go by in a hurry if we don't have any caution flags. As you saw Matt Houston come around Cullen Johnston, side by side for the race lead. J.W. Miller on the outside, West Shire back down to the inside. A switch from where they were at the last caution. We'll see what they're going to do this time. Shire still there alongside down the back straightaway. Lap traffic going to come into play, though. Shire falls back in line. Lap car Peter Donchak down to the inside. He gets cleared out of the way as Rick Cleary heads back for the pit lane. Don't look now, Wes, but here comes Matt Houston up on the outside. Houston getting a nice run off of turn 2 down the backstretch. One quarter of this race will be completed next time by the start-finish line. Outside of the early caution for Chris Kresge's little half spin in turn number 2. We've been green thus far. Lap car of Peter Donchak down out of the way to the inside of the race course. Matt Houston down to the inside of West Shire into corner number 3. Take a look here. Let's go on board with Matt Houston. Interesting that we hear Matt shifting here over the course of the lap. Most of the lap run in 5th gear. When you get the big toe, you'll hit 6th, possibly.
Yep, that's precisely what we're doing.
Top 3 separating themselves out now from Cullen Johnston and Simon Fell, who run 4th and 5th. That battle going to be about the same gap-wise as what we see here at the front of the field. James Watson running about 1.2 seconds behind this fight for position. Back to your fight for the race lead, and here's Wes Shire having the big look down to the inside, down the front straightaway. Matt Houston going to go with him. A little bit of an arrow shove down the straightaway. Once again, Wes Shire heads back to the point. J.W. Miller fights right back. This duel in the top 3 continues, and it's bringing Simon Fell and Cullen Johnston back to the party. Especially Simon Fell. He's got a great run off of turn 4. Houston outside of J.W. Miller. Houston having a good look at Wes Shire, running about a half a car width higher through 3 and 4 than what we're seeing Wes running. JW going to have to contend with Simon Fell. Houston to the inside of Shire off of 4. Bill Walker, Chris Kresge also battling for the 8th position. Miller electing to go with Shire on the outside of turns 1 and 2. This sort of has the feel, James, of one of those places where you can run the far inside lane, but you're going to burn up your tires doing it.
Yep, you can't really pull the cheater line off of here too long.
Houston able to clear Wes Shire. See if J.W. Miller goes on the attack right away.
Well, what do you think, folks at home? Can I make this a 5-way battle for the lead?
If they keep dueling like they are here at the front of the field, James, you may have a shot at getting caught back up there. Currently 1.4 seconds in closing.
Yes, sir.
Shire back deep to the inside once again. Here's the move for the race lead once again into 3. Matt Houston runs that outside lane. Wes Shire going to be able to fight back. Watson may be the sneaky one in this race because these 4 cars are all really putting a lot of wear on the tires, battling for position.
Sir, and knock on wood, I've kind of started to figure a few things out here.
The gap sitting at right about 1.3 seconds or so, about a second and a half for James Watson to the race leaders. Simon Fell having the peak inside of Shire, and that gap is closing big time.
Yeah, it's 8/10 now. Let's go.
The draft will come into play here, I would imagine, James, but it's not as much about the slingshot as it just is they punch a big hole in the air and it gives you a shot to catch up.
Yes, sir. And all the side-by-side, it messes with whatever lines they're taking, so it makes them slower through the corners.
Largest lead we've seen for anybody outside of J.W. Miller on the restart. The gap's at a half second right now. West Shire back to the inside. James Watson going to be right there as well. Yellow flag is out. Caution on the racetrack.
All right, when I caught up to them too, man.
Trouble for Nagisa Yashikawa. He has the spin off of turn number 2. Car stays above the yellow line, so he's on the racing surface. That will bring out caution flag number 2 here. Thank you very much to Hot Shoe Racewear for their support this 2021 season of the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. Check them out online at hotshoeracewear.com for the best in workwear, streetwear, racewear, you name it. Pit strategy already coming into play. Lap number 49. We are at the halfway point. J.W. Miller, West Shire, James Watson, Bill Walker, Nagisa Ashikawa all on pit lane. Miller down and away, beats Shire off the pit lane. Watson will follow them out in line. This is where things really get interesting for JW, Wes, even you there, James. You've been towards the front of this one. You're now going to restart this race 5th, 6th, and 7th. How the car handles in traffic is going to be a little bit unpleasant to find out in race trim.
I qualified 8th, so I have an idea on what to expect. 2 in front of me that don't.
That's very true. That's actually been a really good run so far for you, James.
Woo! I'm not sucking tonight. Let's go! I look competent. Hooray!
It's what we strive for here on the National Racing Network. Competency and mediocrity.
Beats sucking any day of the week, that is for sure.
Yeah, and not necessarily in that order either. So as we head back to the front, we're going to go at least one more lap under caution here. Take a look and see if conditions have changed at all here over this one. Not by much. Ambient temperature still 82 degrees. The track temperature has gone up a couple to 83, but not a big change there. How are things in terms of the grip level out there, James?
Grip feels pretty good. I was darn near full throttle there as I was catching up to everyone. It's going to be interesting to see how we do as the run starts on, especially since I don't have a whole lot of experience with knowing what to expect on fresh tires after a long run on comfortable used tires.
Definitely going to be interesting to watch. Matt Houston leading Simon Fell, Cullen Johnston, Chris Kresge, J.W. Miller. The top 5 as green flag goes back in the air. One more time. Y'all at home crank it up. Westshire, big wiggle out of Westshire off at turn number 2.
Oh boy, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Oh boy.
Kresge chops the nose off of Watson off of 4. Miller and Shire stay side by side. Miller keeps the car wound up on the outside. Shire fighting back tough down to the inside. Bill Walker now looking to the outside of James Watson as Chris Kresge lies just ahead. Nagisa Ashikawa going to be there as well. J.W. Miller looking inside of Cullen Johnston down the front straightaway. That's the battle for third. Westshire going to be right there as well. He allows both of the championship contenders to come through. It's going to drop Cullen back to 5th. Keeps the points battle tight. About as even as you could ask for here at the top of the pylon for the championship standings. Westshire entering the night leading by 4 points over J.W. Miller. Both drivers have 10 starts, both have 2 wins, and 8 top 5 finishes. Westshire has 1 fewer top 10 finish, but he has 8 bonus points, which is what's propelling him up towards the front.
That's crazy. That's what you love to see in the championship battle.
Yeah, this is really pretty insane as these guys continue to run side by side. Simon Fell. Simon is inside of Matt Houston. It is now a 4-car battle for the race lead here as they work lap number 63. James Watson getting around Cullen Johnston for the 5th position. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Shire to the outside. Simon up the middle. Deja vu all over again here, James.
Yep.
As of right now, the fresh tires don't look to be like a massive advantage. But I guess that would really come into play more as we get later in this race.
That's what we're hoping for.
Watson is closing the gap, sitting right about 9/10 of a second, but how about 3/4 of a second by the time they get off at turn number 2? Another big tank slapper out of West Shire. Thankfully, we don't have the ability to show you points as they run, so no drinking game for that one. As J.W. Miller gets down to the inside of Matt Houston for the lead. That was tight at the line. Give it to Houston by about 0.04 of a second at the line. Miller once again going to try to clear off at 2. Just not enough horsepower under the hood of the 6. Shire drops back to the inside, staying right on the rear wing of J.W. Miller. And Watson has caught up. It's now a 5-car battle for the lead. Coming up on some lap traffic, that's Peter Donchak just ahead of your leaders.
And Peter does the nice thing. Thank you, Petey.
So once again, your championship 2 are back at the front of the field. J.W. Miller over West Shire. Three bonus points are on offer here in the TNT Bolt Series. 1 point for the pole award, 1 for the fastest lap, and 1 for the driver who leads the most laps. West Shire securing that point, winning the pole position. Fastest lap currently belongs to J.W. Miller at a 20.69 second lap.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And yellow flag is out once again. May have been trouble here for James Watson. Nagisa Yoshikawa having an issue. Oh, James got spun around and a huge hit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Matt got loose going into the corner and it spooked me and I just couldn't save it. When this car goes, it goes.
Take a look here at the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Watson got it down onto the apron, spins it around, and a big hit at the front for Nagisa Yoshikawa. Good Lord, James. That car getting a little bit airborne there as well. So as we go back to the live look here, Cullen Johnston was the other car that was involved heavily there. James and Cullen both having to take the tow back to the pits. Matt Houston, Chris Kresge now on the pit lane. Not a bad call there for Kresge, Houston, some of those drivers that were towards the front here, James. If only because the tires are going to be about 20, 25 laps fresher than what you guys at the front that JW and Wes have on their cars right now.
Yeah, but I don't really think the tires made that much of a difference. Certainly catching up to people, but not necessarily actually driving by.
Looks like Nagase Ashikawa will be out of this race. Down to 6 cars remaining on the lead lap, led by J.W. Miller, Wes Shire, Simon Fell, Bill Walker, Chris Kresge, and Matt Houston. So lights are out. We are going to get back to green flag racing, and it'll be a 16-lap shootout here to the finish. This restart really is going to be absolutely critical here, James. JW can get out to a nice lead, but ultimately everybody's going to catch back up, and you really don't want to be the sitting duck and have the timing just not work out for you.
No, but I think JW might be able to keep people behind.
We'll see. Off of turn 4, green flag goes back in the air. Once again, good start for your top 4. Matt Houston comes around. Chris Kresge right at the start. Kresge dove way down to the inside. Once again, J.W. Miller opening up that 3-4 car length lead. Call it 0.4 of a second past the start-finish line to complete lap number 80. Top 2 breaking away from 3rd place, Simon Fell. That's now about 0.8 of a second, almost 0.9 of a second. Back to Simon in the 3rd position. Matt Houston, another full 0.9 of a second back here. So this really could be a case of the Championship 2 settling it among themselves. If you're Wes, are you almost sitting patiently here, wanting to make that move with just a few laps to go?
I believe so. I feel like their best chance is right now. Oh, there he goes. Never mind. Never listen to me.
Shire dives to the inside. Well, because the other part of this here is we are down to 10 to go. If we get a caution flag, you want to be out front on that final restart.
Yeah, especially since we don't have green-white checkers.
The duel for the lead is the duel for the championship. West Shire holding on to that inside lane, not letting go of the yellow line through turns 1 and 2. J.W. Miller keeping it wound up, powers past down the back straightaway. West Shire going to be right back to the inside again. Who's the leader at the line? Call it J.W. Miller by almost a car length. Coming up next, it will be a 45-minute feature for the TNT Shock Series. The PM18 staying right here at Richmond Raceway. And that one will have a ton of pitch strategy coming into play. Simon Fell, Matt Houston closing right back in. Shire not able to complete the pass. J.W. Miller continues to hold on to the lead. Houston looking inside of Simon Fell. That fight continues to rage down the front straightaway. 5 to go here at Richmond. If West Shire's going to make the move, he's going to have to do it soon. Just cannot afford to give up any more time. Called half a car length at the start-finish line that time by.
Man, this is tense.
Yeah, the racing for the lead and the championship has been really pretty insane here tonight. And I'll tell you what, whoever wins this race is going to come out ahead. But it's still not, it's not a game of keep them close in the season finale next week. And that season finale coming at a road course that drives like an oval, heading to Road Atlanta for an 18-lap feature. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Does West Shire have anything to make the move into turn 3? Matt Houston going to be right there as well. Shire got it loose coming up off the bottom of the racetrack. Here's the dive to the inside into 3. Shire to the inside. Oh, he spins it. Shire's into the wall. Simon Fell's going to come past. He'll finish second. Bill Walker somehow gets a podium.
Oh my God!
Matt Houston and West Shire are junked. There's West Shire, a pile of garbage at the exit of turn number 4.
He's trying to get a push, but
Trying to get a push from Rick Cleary, but it's not going to work. There's Nagisa Ashikawa tearing the front of the car off. And huge championship implications. West Shire goes from an almost guaranteed second place finish and a tight battle heading to Road Atlanta to a 6th place finish here this evening. Oh my goodness. J.W. Miller burns him down on the front straightaway.
Wow.
He is your race winner here this evening. Let's show you the results. J.W. Miller getting the win over Simon Fell and Bill Walker to complete the podium. Matt Houston and Chris Kresge, the top 5. West Shire finishing 1 lap down in 6th. Nagisa Ashikawa, 7th. Peter Donchak in the 8th position. 9th goes to Rick Cleary. 10th to James Watson. 11th, Cullen Johnston. And 12th place, Chad Irvine. Let's show you this one again on the Hot Shoe Raceware Instant Replay. Just barely touched that yellow line on the inside. And that was all she wrote for Wes Shire. What
Yep.
a heartbreaker for Wes. But I tell you what, that sets up a really great run here. James, before we do our victory lane interviews, let's get your final thoughts on this one.
Oh, man. How many times have we talked about it? When you're in a championship battle, sometimes you have to weigh out the outcome. Wes tried to go for the win and the points lead, and it bit him. You always love and respect when guys go all out like that, but man, at the same time, you can't help but wonder if that may have decided everything.
You know what? This was one of those championships that probably could be decided by one singular mistake over the course of the season. And unfortunately, that mistake may have bitten Wes Shire here this evening. Let's start our victory lane interviews here with your race winner tonight, J.W. Miller. And J.W., congratulations not only on a very big win here, but you also got a little bit of help coming off at turn number 4 in this championship battle.
Yeah, it was a great race. Just really needed that track position there at the end, and we got it before the yellow came out, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, it seemed like passing was difficult, but side-by-side racing was, I don't want to say easy in these cars, but looked doable.
Yeah, a lot more doable than normally at this track. Pretty flat 1 miler, but yeah, it's a lot like Iowa. So glad to get the win here.
What are you thinking now? We head to the championship finale next week at Road Atlanta. You are going to have a points lead over Wes Shire. It's not going to be huge by any stretch, but you are going to go into that race controlling your own destiny.
Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better. Better chances here coming into Road America. It's my home road track, so we'll definitely be sending it here for the championship, and hopefully we can pull off a win there too.
Well, if you're going to do any practicing, make sure it's at Road Atlanta, not Road America. But looking forward to a big run next weekend. Congratulations. That was a huge victory here for you tonight. Let's get all your sponsor thank yous and plugs and all that fun stuff taken care of here.
Yeah, thanks to you guys, NRN, for doing the broadcast. Thanks to James and you guys for being on the car. And thanks to everybody at TNT for putting on these great races.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much, JW here. We'll bring you back out of the room and let's talk to the other of our championship contenders here, Wes Shire. And I'll tell you what, Wes, coming to 1 to go, things looked very good, and then all of a sudden it went ass over tea kettles coming out of turn 4.
I absolutely just threw away that race, and I might have thrown away the championship. I'm going to have to win the race, and if you factor out bonus points, JW has to finish no worse than 10th. With bonus points, if I get them all and win the race, then he can finish no worse than, I think, 12th. Given the car counts we get, I basically need him to not start the race, which probably won't happen. So.
I don't I don't want to say things are that dire. He didn't clinch tonight, that's for sure.
Might as well have.
What's the thought process here as we head into next week then? Is it just a matter of you kind of have to go all out? You really don't have any other choice?
Yeah, I have to win. Basically, I am in a must-win scenario, and I have to take all the bonus points to even have half a chance at this. On the bright side, I love Road Atlanta. It's one of my favorite tracks. It's one of my fastest tracks. So naturally, that means I'm gonna crash on the pace lap.
A West spin?
Yeah.
uh, we'll
I'll tell you what,
we'll not
it's
put
coming down to the wire.
the Watt spin evil on Wes here, but I tell you what, it's been a fun season here for the TNT Bolt Series. Looking forward to see when this one may come back in the future. But all in all, what are your thoughts on the season as a whole here?
Yeah, I mean, car counts have been a little low, but the racing has been phenomenal. I think if we just get a little marketing out there, pick up a few more drivers, this is just going to be a really, really big hit. So, yeah, that's just something I got to work on. And, man, looking forward to the next season. And, yeah, just so upset with myself right now. Just
Well, we'll say this. Get up, get yourself a refresher or something, because the work's not over yet when it comes to the TNT Shock Series as well. We've got a big race coming up here in just a little bit. So good luck in that one. We'll see if you can continue to try the three-peat, but you're still in pretty good shape here for the Shock Series as well. So good luck in that one, and looking forward to seeing what you're going to do here in the PM18s at Richmond.
yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be probably a pretty similar race, hopefully with a little less crashing.
All right, Wes.
I agree with that as well, from a personal standpoint.
So there you go. There's Wes Shire, your other combatant in this championship battle. God, what a heartbreaking shot. Checkered flag waving and junked a couple 100 yards from the start-finish line. Scenes of Petty and Pearson maybe a little bit, but I tell you what, James, we saw a hell of a race here for the TNT Bolt Series.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. So ovals, man. Ovals very rarely fail to put on a show.
Yeah, that's it was a great show, and we're going to see a lot more of it here coming up for the TNT Shock Series at 10:15. Don't want to miss that one, but for right now, we are getting out of here. For James Watson, Connor Baldwin, our camera designer and associate producer, my name is Chris Graham. Been a pleasure to have you with us. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back here to Richmond in just about 10 minutes or so. Till then, we will talk to you all soon. See you in a bit, everybody.